Andrew Berry and Todd Monken start fixing the Browns' offensive line, sources say that the Texans and the Browns have agreed to terms on a trade to send the starting right tackle Titus Howard to the Cleveland Browns in exchange for a fifth-round pick. Now, it's much-needed offensive line help. It's a $63 million extension. But before we get more into the news of the offensive line, everybody but Shedeur, I listen to the media in Cleveland. Who haven't they said that's coming to Cleveland? I mean, you got Kyler Murray, Malik Willis, Anthony Richardson, and Ty Simpson from Alabama, who Todd Monken supposedly knows. Old Browns media don't want Shedeur here. They got every radio show talking about who the Browns can pick up. You got reports saying at the Combine that Yahoo Sports, which is this article, the Browns are poised to another quarterback, and it doesn't bode well for Shedeur Sanders. Sanders is the young quarterback on the team with the best chance to be the week 1 starter next year. If the Browns were to add another quarterback in the draft a year younger than Sanders in terms of roster control, it would be bad news for the former fifth-round pick. According to our own Rob Gretson, who was fishing out information from sources at the NFL Combine, the Browns are adding another quarterback. It's just a matter of which avenue they travel to get it done. Despite spending 2 draft picks on a quarterback in 2025 and having Deshaun Watson with an $80 million cap hit for 2026, Cleveland will be considering adding another veteran or going back to the well in the NFL draft. Both Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders started games and showed some flashes in 2025, but with Kevin Stefanski out and Todd Monken in, the offense could be in for a makeover, starting with the man under center. Everybody knows that Skip Bayless is a diehard Shedeur Sanders fan.
How confident are you that Shedeur is going to be the starter?
Okay, I'm going to put this on a scale of 1 to 10. My confidence level on Shedeur starting on opening Sunday is at a 2 right now because of the things you just heard. Ooh. So what did I see last year? Shedeur got to start 7 games. I'm thankful for that because he was condemned to the 5th round. So I'm grateful he got to put something on tape. And he showed you what he can be at Las Vegas and at home against Tennessee and in the wins over Aaron Rodgers and over Joe Burrow in Cleveland. He showed you in those 4 games for sure. And he did this, remember, behind the offensive line that Pro Football Focus ranked all year long dead last in the NFL. And he did this with the wide receivers that Pro Football Focus all year long ranked dead last in the NFL. So obviously I wanted to hear from Monken and the GM Barry at the Combine that this will be Shedeur's job to lose. Shedeur's job to lose. And no, I heard open competition. I heard Deshaun will be in it. And I heard them say that they still love Dillon Gabriel and that he will get an equal chance to win the starting job next year. And I keep reading and hearing from the Cleveland-based reporters who cover the Browns on a daily basis that the Browns are still not convinced that their quarterback of the future is in the building yet. And that led, as Kinsey just pointed out, to Seth Walder on ESPN shocking me by saying, oh, they're going to somehow acquire Kyler Murray to be their starting quarterback. I don't know if Kyler's going to get cut or if they would trade for that massive salary that he will make next year. But that's where Seth Walder went. I respect him. So in the end, I'm thankful that condemned to the 5th round, he got some chance last year that I didn't think he'd get at all. But I don't love where this is heading next year for Shedeur, and I'm still not sure that his long-term future is in Cleveland, Ohio.
I don't know what's going on in Cleveland. I got to believe in Andrew Berry and what he said. So I'm hoping so far so good with Andrew Berry. He's working on the offensive line. Hopefully the next move is to work on the wide receivers. Right now, we really don't need a quarterback. I don't think at all that any quarterback in the draft or any quarterback that's coming up in free agency has no business coming to Cleveland with a quarterback competition. It should be between Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson. And we got Joe Hayden and Debo talking about how much better Shedeur is than everybody in the draft.
When we were looking at Shedeur before he was coming out, and everybody was projecting him to go either 1 or 2, Shedeur may rub you the wrong way. But his gameplay, when you watch the tape, the way he throws the ball, that's not fluke. He didn't diamond chain himself to 4,100 yards. It just baffles me how some people can go you can get the quarterback. It's a feeling thing. It's I like this guy. Mendoza, he's a good guy. Take the number, take the face off, and just watch the film. You don't watch Mendoza and you watch Shedeur just go play the tape. You like, dang, this dude moves around the pocket. He's throwing accurate passes. He was supposed to go number 1 or 2 in last year's draft. He just fell because people don't like him. Now, this dude, he wasn't projected to go in the first round of Mendoza. All those other all those guys they talked about didn't do well. They just didn't perform on the field. Yes. I think Shedeur is better than Buddy, and I don't think no quarterback in this class is better than Shedeur.
That's Joe Hayden and Debo. I'm glad to see Joe Hayden back in town, back in the States, rather. 100% right. Shedeur is better than Mendoza. Number 12 is better than Buddy. Take the number, take the face off of it, and just watch the tape. I don't think any QB in the draft is better than Shedeur. So let's get back to the trade that the Browns made. The wheels are already in motion, and they picked up a veteran starting tackle who played a little bit of guard from the Texans. They agreed to terms on a trade with starting right tackle Titus Howard to Cleveland in exchange for a 5th-round pick. I'm going to just sit back and watch Andrew Berry shore up this offensive line. We got G. Bush on UCSS talking about what he thinks about the offensive lineman Titus Howard.
This is a very, very, very nice move. Now, you need some other things to go along with it. He's a starting caliber tackle. He's played some guard. He's a starter for the Texans. You take a look at what he's able to do. Yes, he has some versatility there. But if you're going to get a starting caliber tackle who is playing for a team that was in the playoffs, and you get it for a 5th-round pick, I love it, because now, you can look at it, and we talked about not being able to count on DeJuan Jones. We talked about needing gaps and phases all up and down the line of scrimmage.
And that's G. Bush, and he loves the pick. I love the pick. They said that his pass blocking is better than his run blocking. This is the start of the overhaul of the offensive line. We got Tony Grossi talking about what he think about the trade for Titus Howard.
Did they get their starting right tackle this morning?
Yeah, I think this is the starting right tackle. Titus Howard was good enough to get a 2nd contract with Houston. This will be his 3rd contract.
So the other thing is, this kid hadn't allowed a sack in 2 years. He's also played 32 games.
That's good.
In the last 2 years. How much did that play into this?
Well, I'm sure after what they went through with Jack Conklin, they needed a guy they can depend on.
PFF got Titus Howard among 2025 NFL offensive tackles with 1,000 snaps plus, tied 1st in sacks, 0 sacks given up, 4th in pressures allowed, 26, tied 1st in QB hits, only 1, tied 6th in pass block grade, 76.7. The Browns locked down a top pass blocking O-tackle. And on 92.3 The Fan, you got Scott Petrak and Andy Baskin and Jeff Phelps talking about possibly the next move that the Browns will make at offensive line.
And probably have 2 big. I thought they would go into free agency and probably have 2 big swings in them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this counts as one of those. They might still have 2 more. Is one of those Tyler Linderbaum? I think that's the question when we're still talking about the offensive line. Is he's right in his prime. I think he's 26, 3-time Pro Bowler. You're going to have to pay a bunch. You're going to reset the tackle or the center market. But he's been with Todd Monken. He's been with George Warhop, the line coach in Baltimore. It would make a lot of sense. You get him making the line calls. So I do think the Browns have at least one more big move coming, and I think it would be free agency. So I don't think the Howard move changes that. And, $21 million for a tackle, it's not top of the market. It's up there, but it's not. They're not resetting the tackle market or anything.
So that's Scott Petrak, and he's talking about the Browns may make another move and take a big swing at Tyler Linderbaum, and he's going to ask for a lot of money that would make the Browns offensive line really, really look good. He's been with Todd Monken and he's been with George Warhop, and it would make a lot of sense. We got Shelby Harris is very impressed with Shedeur Sanders and his work ethic.
I was highly impressed with the kid. I believe that he definitely got the short end of the stick. You know, everyone made all these big deals about stuff that it was out of his control. He can't control who his dad is. But the one thing I will say is that Shedeur works. He works his ass off.
You did?
And he takes the time to get to hang out with his teammates, which I think is extremely important, especially when you're a young quarterback, because it's all about building those relationships with the players and building that time with them so that when it is crunch time, you know how hard I've been working to get here. You've seen it. You know, I hate the narrative that goes around about Shedeur, because Shedeur, all he does is go in and work. And if anything, you got to give Deion credit for that. He taught him how to work. Yeah. He taught him how to handle himself at work. I was highly impressed with the kid. I believe.
So that's Shelby Harris. He said he's highly impressed with him. We know that the combine was this week and we need some wide receivers. So hopefully we can pick up a wide receiver. Cornell Tate may be on the list. One of the wide receivers we want to pick up.
I had a great meeting with the Browns. Andrew Berry, the GM, head coach Todd Monken, the receiver coach. We just talked about. They got up there. We talked about put my film on, see what all I can remember, who all position I know, what coverages I knew, and then we looked at a couple plays, what I could do better at. Why was it a lack of execution on this play? It don't mean a lot stay in Ohio. Like Columbus is Ohio. It's an hour up the street, so yeah, it'll mean a lot to stay in Columbus, next to Columbus, and then I can go out there and see all my guys out there at Ohio State. And I know Ohio State fans love Cleveland Browns, so why not?
There you go, Cornell Tate. Hopefully the Browns can figure out some stuff to get Marvin Harrison Jr., Cornell Tate, man, or something, man. Beef up this O-line. See you on the next video.